So next, I'm really excited to introduce Lois Curfman McInnes, who is an Argonne Distinguished Fellow in the Mathematics and Computer Science Division of Argonne National Laboratory. Her work focuses on high-performance computational science with an emphasis on scalable numerical libraries and community collaboration toward productive and sustainable software ecosystems. Lois serves as the Deputy Director of Software Technology for the U.S. Department of Energy Exascale Computing Project, and she's a leader of the Broadening Participation Initiative within ECP. She also co-leads the Ideas Productivity Project, which focuses on improving software productivity and sustainability as a key aspect of advancing scientific productivity. She received the 2015 SIAM-ACM Award in Computational Science and Engineering and a 2009 R&D Award as part of the core PETSI development team. She's also won the E.O. Lawrence Award in 2011 for outstanding contributions in R&D supporting DOE and its mission. Lois will share a very engaging discussion of the need for the HPC community and to address the most urgent scientific and societal challenges in the 21st century, including developing a workforce that embodies a wide range of skills and perspectives, fully reflecting the diversity of society, including traditionally underrepresented communities. She will provide an overview of a variety of workforce efforts throughout the HPC community and opportunities for you to get involved. And this will include work conducted as part of the DOE Exascale Computing Project Broadening Participation Initiative, which is aimed at addressing the DOE workforce challenges through a lens that considers the distinct needs and culture of HPC. Let's welcome Lois to the stage.
Hi there, I am so honored to be here to speak with you today. As Marianne mentioned, I am a member of the Department of Energy computational science community, and supercomputing has been such an important part of my life and my culture. I want to draw our attention to some comments that both Dorian Arnold and Roscoe Giles shared earlier this week that really provide good food for thought for all of us. In particular, Dorian, in an article, a blog in the IMHPC series, asked us, how can I make a difference, inspiring each of us to consider that. And when Roscoe introduced our keynote speaker a few days ago, he remarked that this conference, this special opportunity to be here together in community this week, enables us to consider deep reflection and subsequent actions on this theme of IMHPC. So with that in mind, I'd like just to acknowledge the wonderful contributions that our supercomputing community has been making throughout many years. This slide just shows a few of the many activities ongoing at supercomputing this week that focus on mentoring, training through the various student and mentoring programs, also workshops focused on women in HPC, education, and research software engineering, just to name a few. So this is certainly not exhaustive, but thank you to all of you in the community who are already making a huge difference. So my experience today will focus on my role and the role of our community in the Exascale Computing Project, where we have been working as a team over many years to develop a sustainable software ecosystem and a rich set of scientific applications that fully leverage exascale computing and are poised to go beyond. We know, of course, that developing application software and even hardware is not something that we can do in the absence of a workforce. And we know within the Exascale Computing Project that we need to invest in developing and fostering a more diverse and inclusive workforce culture. Thus, in 2021, our ECP community launched the Broadening Participation Initiative. And as a coordinator of that, I'm really honored to be here today to speak on behalf of many people who collaborate with me on this work, to share some of our successes and challenges, and also to provide some comments about how each of us, in whatever our communities may be, could get involved to make a difference in broadening participation. So with that in mind, I'll diverge a little in the theme of IMHPC to talk a bit about my own career path. I'm from central Pennsylvania. I went to Muhlenberg College, a small liberal arts college, where I studied math and physics. After that, I went to the University of Virginia, where I studied applied math. I did internships at NASA Langley Research Center and also at Argonne National Lab. Being a summer intern at Argonne National Lab was a transformative time in my life and has led me to where I am today. I had the good fortune of returning to Argonne as a postdoc and have been there ever since in one form or another, including for a while as a software engineer, even before the research software engineering movement was born. So I'm very excited about the progress with research software engineering. At the same time, I also have a personal life where I met my husband, and we both went to different schools. We have dealt with a two-body problem for decades. I have two daughters who were born in the years 2000 and 2003. So this slide shows what I consider my families. I'm showing my husband and daughters about 15 years ago. They're much older now. My parents about 15 years ago, and a Girl Scout troop that I co-led for many years. I'm also showing people who I have collaborated with over the years in a variety of different projects. Now, this is certainly not an exhaustive list, but these are just some of the people who I also consider families in the context of the work that we do. And I'm so grateful to collaborate with them. Together, we and many others in the community have been working to provide transformative advancements in science and technology. A really wonderful report led by Bruce Hendrickson and Paul Messina in 2020 summarizes some of these advances. I should mention that at the end of my talk, I'll provide a pointer to where a PDF of these slides is available, and that PDF includes hyperlinks to many of these resources, including these reports. So they're really great reading and food for thought, so I encourage you to seek them out. In the context of this presentation, I'll just focus on two of the points discussed in these reports, and that is workforce investments have always been critical in our Department of Energy's computing sciences community, and we have a strong tradition of investing in workforce development because we need very specific skills and broad skills in technologies and related topics. And consequently, our workforce is sought after. So those skills are broadly needed, not just in the Department of Energy, but around the world and in industry. I've been privileged to collaborate over the past 7 years in the Department of Energy's Exascale Computing Project. This slide shows some of the applications, the broad diversity that our teams have been working on during this time, building upon a rich layer of software technologies. And I must acknowledge and thank all my collaborators in the Exascale Computing Project and the broader computing sciences community for their wonderful work. So what I talk about is certainly not my work alone. It represents the combined contributions of many, many people. And I especially want to thank our sponsors, the Department of Energy Office of Science and NNSA, as well as the directors and deputy directors of ECP during my time in the program and even before. So this slide shows just a snapshot of some of the applications that the ECP community has been pursuing while building on top of a rich array of software technologies. We have 70 software products that span across 6 technical areas. And all of these have been developed over the last 7 years in order to run on current and future exascale systems. So as we've been doing this, we've been working as a community, as a multi-institutional, multi-disciplinary community to build a very rich scientific software stack that's intended for exascale and beyond. And in fact, there are a variety of wonderful technical presentations throughout this conference, panel sessions discussing this work, and I encourage you to seek out more information from all of these people. While we've been doing this work, of course, our community and workforce overall have been developing new skills and growing, and I'd just like to highlight 2 people, Matt Rolchigo and Tapasia Patki, who are, Matt in particular started off as a student. He engaged in a summer internship at Lawrence Livermore National Lab, where he worked on extending his material science background toward high performance computing, and now he is a scientist at Oak Ridge National Lab. And in a complementary way, Tapasia started as a grad student at the University of Arizona, became a postdoc at Lawrence Livermore National Lab, and throughout the course of ECP, she has transitioned to be leading a team who won an R&D 100 award. And there are many, many other examples of students and postdocs and other staff who've been really progressing in their careers throughout the course of ECP. And really, we can consider the work that we've been doing in the Exascale Computing Project across these many disciplines as work of a team of teams. That is, we're a multi-layered collaborative community that includes people with a variety of skills across applications, applied mathematics, performance, computational science, cognitive and social science, computer science, and many more. And just as our prior speaker mentioned, we absolutely know that diverse teams are more innovative and productive, and simply we need them to do our work. But we recognize that in the computing sciences, we face many urgent workforce challenges. In fact, Barbara Chapman led a team in 2014 who wrote a compelling analysis of this, where the ASCAC workforce subcommittee pointed out that there is an increasing workforce gap and a continued underrepresentation of communities in the workforce unless there's an intervention. So the report recommends that we invest in intervention. In addition, the recommendations from the ASCAC subcommittee on transitioning in our community post-ECP, as led by Roscoe Giles, has pointed out a variety of opportunities in the area of workforce. Roscoe's report deals with many other technical areas too, but for the purpose of this setting, I'll just focus on our needs and opportunities to strengthen and advance the workforce in many fronts. So based on that motivation, in 2021, a group of people who really care about our community and our work came together and formed the ECP Task Force on Broadening Participation. And we especially want to thank the support of our sponsors, in particular Barb Helen, Christine Schock, and Jaron Sissip-Bennett, who've been incredibly supportive throughout our time in doing this work. Now, of course, there are many other ongoing activities that are very successful and making important advances in workforce programs. Here are some in the Department of Energy that focus on internships for undergraduates, community college students, and visiting faculty programs. In addition, fellowships such as the GEM Fellowship have been very important and impactful. And also, each lab in our system has creative programs underway that leverage their unique environments and connections to regional opportunities. Also, there have been many thought leaders in our community who have shared perspectives and provided advice. These are important resources, and I encourage anyone who is interested in learning more to read them. So considering our task force first job was to share experiences and share knowledge and learn even beyond what we already knew. We established a vision and a mission as stated here, where we're working toward our DOE high-performance computing community to be a supportive and inclusive environment where the workforce includes diverse and talented people from underrepresented communities. And we immediately knew that we needed to partner with Marianne Leong, who's our moderator today. She is a leader in the international community in advancing diversity in the computing sciences. So we're grateful that we're partnering with her. And as we're doing that, in the Broadening Participation Initiative, we're thinking about our HPC workforce opportunities as really as a pipeline and a career superhighway. So this is a superhighway where we see that our initiative focuses on three areas. So early accessibility through some boot camps that I'll talk about, sustainable research pathways, internship programs that are pathways for internships and further training, and pathways to graduate school also. And then, of course, investing in our workforce development and retention through providing supportive environments throughout people's computing careers. So not just recruiting, but retention are all important. So the motivation for the first part of our work is in our intro to HPC space is to build basic skills. And we recognize that basic skills in high performance computing are often prerequisites for other opportunities such as advanced programs in training and even internships. But as we know, high performance computing is not typically taught at early stages of students' careers. And some schools really don't have opportunities, but we know that our community has a lot of expertise and resources. So in one thrust of our work, Jeannie Ramprakash and Paige Kinsley from ALCF, Argonne Leadership Computing Facility, have been coordinating a collaborative effort in partnership with the Oak Ridge and Lawrence Berkeley National Labs and others in our community to develop accessible introductory material. And to do this in a way that is multifaceted, providing both in-person experiences as well as an intention to build a curriculum in partnership with faculty at minority-serving institutions so that education could be done on-site, on campus. So we're very excited that in August of this year, we hosted the first Intro to HPC boot camp for 5 days on site at NERSC, at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab. And we partnered with the Office of Energy Justice Analysis in the Department of Energy to define compelling projects with social impact in the area of energy justice, which of course is an important area for the Department of Energy's mission. So we introduced culturally relevant projects with social impact. This is a diagram that shows throughout our 5 days of the boot camp, we covered a variety of topics in computing foundations, math foundations, and high performance computing in action while working in small groups on a set of complementary projects. And I must emphasize that this approach is inspired by innovative work in the Computing for Change and the Advanced Computing for Social Change programs that have already been taking place here at Supercomputing. And we thank Linda Ackley for her insight in working with us in initially defining our approach. So this slide shows that we succeeded engaging 60 students from 22 states throughout the United States. 48% of them were first-generation scholars, meaning they're first in their immediate families to go to college. And we also engaged 10 peer mentors who were a bit more advanced students who helped the 60 students in their work. These pie charts show that our demographics were really wonderfully mixed, where 28% of our participants were Black or African American, and we have a mix of other ethnicities, Asian, Caucasian, and mixed race and others. We drew people from mostly undergraduate institutions, but also a few people who are masters, community college and postdoc people. And as an outcome of this one-week experience, which to be honest, for most of these students was their first exposure to high-performance computing and the DOE National Labs, we found that many of them indicated that they were interested or very interested in pursuing high-performance computing as a career, and also many were interested or very interested in DOE labs as a computing environment. So our team presented a paper at a workshop here at Supercomputing, and if you're interested in learning more, I encourage you to take a look at that. As next steps, our team is looking to expand and build on our accomplishments, and we're still in the midst of figuring out exactly our next steps, but we certainly want to continue this bootcamp program. We're interested in seeking partners for collaboration on curriculum development, and we would love for any of you who might be interested in that, or any of you who might be interested in sponsoring a bootcamp, to please let us know. We're eager to put our heads together with others in the community to determine how to move forward in flexible ways. And I'd just like to share some of our elements of participation. As I mentioned, we had 60 bootcamp students. We had 26 people throughout our multi-lab community as leaders of the bootcamp. And as a wonderful outcome of this, 25 of the bootcamp students have since applied and are in the midst of going through a process for the next step of internships, the Sustainable Research Pathways Program. So I'll talk more about that next, but just this is a reminder of our multi-stage path. So we're providing accessible introductory pathways and then moving on. The Sustainable Research Pathways Program was launched by Marianne Lung in partnership with David Brown and Silvio Crivelli at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab in 2015. And our approach here in the Broadening Participation Initiative is to leverage and build on and scale that program across our lab community. This slide shows just a few examples of participants, students, and faculty whose careers have been impacted in very important ways. Where one example shown here is a student, Alexandra Ballo from Youngstown State University as an undergrad, participated for several years in the program at the Sustainable Research Pathways Program and its complement, the broader engagement program at conferences, and consequently build really impressive skills and was awarded a computational science graduate fellowship. So we're excited about this approach as an exemplar for building accessible pathways. This slide just provides a bit of more of an overview of the strategy of our ECP community's partnership with Marianne Lung in scaling the Sustainable Research Pathways Program across our lab community in order to build relationships and have sustained interactions. And we're especially reaching out to students from underrepresented groups and also to faculty who work with students from underrepresented groups. This slide has pictures that are way too small to truly see, but I want to show you that that's a picture of the mentors within our community for the cohort who participated in the summer of 2022. That was our first year in scaling this project, where we had 61 participants at 9 labs, and we had a really strong participation across all areas of the ECP applications, software, and integration areas. And last summer, summer of 2023, we expanded the program throughout the Computational Research Leadership Council, which spans across the multi-program labs, and we were able to have 189 students and faculty at 10 labs participate in the program. And that was a blend of funding through ECP and individual projects. And we're just now in the phase of launching our endeavors for the summer of next summer, 2024, we completed a matching workshop where the students, faculty, and staff exchanged information, and we're now in the process of moving ahead to make sure we have funding to support those efforts for summer internships. Here's just a few examples of wonderful outcomes of participants in this program. So again, I will provide a pointer to my slides in PDF format, and those of you who'd like to learn more could click on these hyperlinks to read more about examples. One I'd just like to call out is James Morissette, who was a student at Iowa State University, has been working with mentor Victor Matsevitsi from Argonne in the ALCF since he was a high school student, where Victor has been a mentor in the AXO program, and then James was able to return as part of this internship program and sustainable research pathways to really build his skills and to continue to return and learn more about high performance computing. So that's been very exciting for us. The sustainable research pathways process is illustrated here, where there's a combination of recruitment and onboarding, distributed activities, and especially important as our element of cultivate conversation, which is distributed conversations about culture and mentoring. We have just a variety of examples here that again showcase the contributions of our mentors across the DOE lab system and show the diversity of folks who've been participating as participants. So good food for thought. And now I'm going to allow one of the participants to explain her experiences.
Hi, my name is Kyra Anderson. I'm a first-year PhD student at Cornell University in the Center for Applied Mathematics, and I have a bachelor's in pure math from Smith College, which is a women's liberal arts college in Massachusetts. So what made me apply to SRP was I actually had participated in the GEM Fellowship as an intern at the Princeton Plasma Physics Lab, and I had a great experience with that. And I was working on scientific code development, and I really found that that's something I really like to do, and I really wanted to get a stronger background in computational science. So I had a really amazing experience at Oak Ridge National Laboratory as an SRP intern. I was able to work with Dr. William Godoy at Oak Ridge along with another intern, Katrina. And the three of us had a lot of great synergy, and I was able to learn from Katrina and William about computational science, and Katrina and I exchanged more information about, the mathematics behind things, and that was just a really nice background. And then we got to run jobs on the supercomputers there, primarily Frontier. We actually got to see Frontier and to see how much there was at the lab to explore was really amazing. And from there, our research led to a paper that we submitted to SC23, and now it's a Best Paper Award in the Works Workshop. And I applied for the student volunteer position, which I also received, and then I submitted a poster for our research, and that was also accepted. And so this experience with SRP really brought me into a new world altogether. I had no idea, all that there was with high performance computing, and it's been really amazing to get to participate in SC23. And so this experience and the connections that I built with people at Oak Ridge and the people that I've met since being here will definitely be impactful and super important going forward for the rest of my career. So can't overstate how much of a benefit participating in SRP has been for me.
So a big thank you to Kyra Anderson for providing these comments. I encourage you all to reach out and find Kyra. She's here, and she's doing very interesting work. And also a big thanks to William Godoy, her mentor at Oak Ridge. So by the numbers, we have in 2023, 123 students, 43 faculty, 10 DOE labs participating, 84 lab staff as mentors, and in addition, 25 of the students and faculty in the SRP program are here participating in Supercomputing 2023. These participants have been coming from 38 minority-serving institutions and 4 community colleges. So with that, I'll just lead into the third part of our work, which is focusing on our HBC Workforce Development and Retention Action Group. This is a broad community effort across our lab community with also some collaborators from universities. This is led by Suzanne Peretti-Kuhn from OLCF, and the intent here is to come together as a multi-lab community to foster a community who share ideas and best practices and learn from one another. We're focusing on 2 particular activities, leading a webinar series, which is online and open to everyone. We welcome you to engage in those and also look at the recording and archive materials. And also we're developing a website that is providing resources. So this slide provides a bit more information about the webinars that we've hosted since the launch of this work in March 2022. And again, by the numbers, we have 44 staff across 10 labs participating in our Workforce Action Group. And so far in just 7 webinars, we've had over 1,000 attendees. So what's next? We know that the Exascale Computing Project is coming to a conclusion at the end of this year, but we are already looking for pathways forward and an exciting beginning. Certainly there's more to do, but we have been working among 7 complementary teams who submitted proposals for software sustainment or software stewardship after ECP, and have committed to work together for some cross-cutting work that builds on the Broadening Participation Initiative and is poised to seek sustainable support for those efforts. So I'll just mention that there's synergistic work throughout the community in many ways. There's way more important work happening than time to talk about it, but I encourage you in your time to please explore all the important work by these many organizations, including the CRA widening participation work, the work of the Center for Minorities, People with Disabilities in IT, the NSF Broadening Participation in Computing Initiative, their resource portal, Women in HPC, programs by SIG-HPC, IEEE, TCPP, and SIAM activity groups, and also work underway by various research software engineering organizations. I'll mention 2 more areas where I and my teams have had involvement. One is in sponsoring or leading the Better Scientific Software Fellowship Program, which has been sponsored by ECP, also sponsored by NSF, and now going forward being sponsored by the Advanced Scientific Computing Research and NNSA programs for this next year. So this is a program that's focused on giving recognition and funding to leaders and advocates of high-quality scientific software, which is absolutely essential for the work that we do in the computing sciences. In addition, the SIAM activity group on supercomputing, which I'm chairing currently, it has developed a set of complementary initiatives to help raise awareness of the impact and successes of high-performance computing in our world. Our intent is to have short videos, about 20 to 30 minutes, done in an accessible way. So we thank many of the leaders in our community who've already participated in those spotlights, and we'd love your ideas for additional potential topics and speakers for that. In addition, my co-officers, Michael Bader, Hatem Al-Tayef, and Rio Yokota, collaborated together to explore some of the issues and challenges in high-performance computing across all scales, recognizing that our heterogeneous architectures pose challenges not just at the super high-end supercomputer level, but at the laptop, desktop, and cluster level also. So there's a lot of work to do in order to fully leverage our computing capabilities across all scales. So I'd just like to end with a challenge to all of us to really think again. This is a book by Adam Grant, shown here. My friend Mike Carew recommended it to me, and it's a really great read. It's not specifically focusing on broadening participation, but really rethinking potentially anything in your world or in your life. And in my opinion, we as a high-performance computing community really have a lot to think about and rethink about if we're considering the importance of a workforce for our future, especially if we consider how the high-performance computing field is evolving and changing, and recognizing that we really do need to prioritize sustainable interventions. And going back to the challenges posed by Dorian and Roscoe, how can each of us make a difference? And let's take this opportunity while we're here as a community to think about that and think how we can launch sustainable interventions. So I encourage each of us, no matter who you are, an early career, mid-career, senior, or beyond person, to please get involved at some level. We need interventions at all levels, beyond just undergraduate and graduate programs. We need intervention at the earliest stages of education, elementary school through middle school, high school, and beyond. And we need partnerships across our community, across agencies. So I encourage each one of us to take some time to reflect about what are our own perspectives and consider opportunities to help influence the space. This picture here is intended to show that each of us has a circle of opportunity and influence, every single one of us. And we can make choices about how we proceed, and those choices will impact people in our circle of influence, and as we're all doing that, consequently, we'll all be broadening participation together and making quite a difference. So I provide a few references here, which I don't expect you to read on this slide, but these are embedded hyperlinks. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lois, for a really fantastic presentation and for leading these broadening participation efforts and doing the work. It's so important. We really do have to transform our community. So I'd like to invite you to come to the microphone to ask a question. I see we have someone already here, so please go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you so much for the talk. My name is Ben Schwaller from Sandia Labs. I'm also part of a Sandia group trying to expand HPC outreach, develop curriculum, seminars, et cetera, to meet the challenges that you've stated in your talk. One of the things I've noticed in this sphere is access to the resources to actually do this interesting educational outreach. There are times I'll go to universities that they have top 100, top 25 supercomputers, but the undergrads there don't have access to them because they're being used by the other grad students and whatnot. So I was wondering what challenges and maybe potential ways you've seen in your teams to reduce that barrier to entry for resources to allow students to play around with these technologies and make mistakes.
That is an important question, and in fact, that same question came up yesterday in a BOF that the three high-performance computing societies hosted. There's not a simple answer, but we do know that there are a variety of accessible cloud resources, for example, but there's not necessarily a way to point people to those. So one takeaway from our BOF yesterday for a cross-society action item is to work on providing information about how people in the international community can access those resources and even work harder to get more resources, recognizing that there's always a need for more than we have.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you. A question over here.
Dorian Arnold from Emory University, and I promise everyone these questions are not plants, but just questions that I've encountered in my own journey, and I think many of us, including you, Mike, as well, and I'd like your perspective. So I appreciate the way you started the conversation with talking about the science and the engineering in the ECP project. You're, of course, known first as a scientist, and later in your career started to do more to broaden the participation of who can be scientists. And then you segued into the work that you were doing in diversifying the workforce. Can you talk about, in your experiences, the value that you've seen come with bringing a more diverse workforce to the technical part of the work that you're doing. So not just the human aspect and the societal aspect and doing good for making the world a better place, but the science and what the values that you've seen in your projects and your experiences coming from the diverse perspectives and backgrounds and experiences.
We absolutely benefit from diversity, and we need it. Honestly, without it, we cannot function. So the work I think that our whole community is doing in the computing sciences naturally is a blend across technical expertise, but also across expertise that deals with human factors, social scientists, creativity in terms of communication, design, all sorts of factors. And I think that without that diversity of perspectives and backgrounds, different cultural backgrounds, we simply cannot do our work, and we can't even identify what is the most important work to do. So we need everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, well, I think we're about out of time, so let's thank Lois and Denise both for their talks. And welcome Roscoe and Dorian back to the stage as our formal thank you.
Okay, on the axis. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, thank you.